What's up, guys? I got a question for you. Are you thinking about building or are you thinking about buying a resale home? If you confused about that topic, if you're in your buying process, purchasing a home process, and you might be a little bit confused about which one is the best for you, in this video I'm going to give you some clarity on which one might best fit you when you're buying a house compared to building a house. What's up, guys? My name is Wilmont with the Berry Group, brokered by EXP Realty, and it's another Teach Me Tuesday. I hope all of you guys are doing well. As you can see, I don't have my team with me today. The Abrahams are on vacation, so I wish them the best. I hope they're having fun. But guys, I'm excited about this topic today about should I build a house or should I buy a resale home? Okay. So if you have any questions, guys, please put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions pertaining to this topic. I get this comes up a lot in my business, and I'm gonna jump right in. I don't think this is gonna be a long session. I'm gonna try to keep it down so that hopefully you can get some value from this session and you can leave here with some clarity on whether or not you should buy a home or a new construction home, or whether or not you should buy a resale home. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. First thing is first, what's going to eliminate building for you? First thing is first is budget. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. um I know in my area in Orangeburg, the cheapest new build that you can buy is around 240, in the 240s, which is pretty good compared to a lot of areas. I've seen, cheapest in like Somerville, Charleston areas. It's crazy. But in Orangeburg, I mean, you can buy a new build for around 240. I think I might have seen a 230 out there. I did see some in Columbia in the 230s. So if you're not pre-approved for that amount, that could eliminate you right there. If you don't have that, pre-approval for a new bill for that price point. Okay, so that's why it's important. Like we always say, make sure you get that pre-approval, guys, so you'll know what you're working with. All right, that's the first thing. I want to talk to you about building versus buying, because buying a resale home, because I remember when I first started my buying process, when I purchased my home, me and my wife, we were thinking about building. I mean, that's all we wanted to do. We was like, hey, we got the land, we gonna build right here. This is where it's going down at. And I just want to encourage you guys to be open, because we ended up not building. We ended up buying a resale home, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because we were we were actually getting more for a resale home than we were if we were to build. Okay. And then also I want you to think about this. If you were to build that particular home that you're looking at for resale, um, think about how much it might cost. So I think during that time, so it just depends on the times too. We were getting quotes from contractors to build a house and everything, and we knew how much it was going to cost to build the home we want. Went through the whole construction loan process and everything. And the thing about it is that we ended up finding a home that had everything we wanted in it. It wasn't perfect. I'm going to talk about all of those things too. It wasn't perfect. However, it fit all of the needs that we needed in our current situation. Okay. It's something that I really want you to be open to, is be open to looking at some new builds, and also be open to looking at some resale homes. Okay. If you're strictly saying, hey, I want a new build, I totally get it. I'm not going to force you, but I encourage you to be open and really check out the market, because you never know what you might be giving up. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is give you this disclaimer. Okay. Is no house is perfect. All right. I'm going to say that one more time. No home is perfect, guys. I don't care how good it looks. I don't care if it's a new build, a new construction house. You would think that if it's a new build, everything should be right in it. And that's not true. Okay. That's why I encourage my clients that are buying new builds or, by these big builders. I'm not going to say the names or what. So I don't know if I can get in trouble for that or not. But what I'll do is I'll make sure they get a home inspection done. Why? It's because the home inspector, his job is to find something wrong. Okay, that's his job. They go in to make sure everything is working properly. And if something's not hooked up right, if something needs to be readjusted, he's gonna find it. And I have yet, and I've been doing real estate going on 5 years now, yet had a home inspection come back with nothing on it. Okay, whether it's a new build or a resale home. So I want you to take that advice. Make sure you get that home inspection done so that you can make sure, you know, the house is up to your standard. Okay, and if the seller is willing to make those repairs, I'm gonna get into that. So first thing is first, I'm gonna give you some pros and cons to both because I know everybody isn't in the same boat. All right, everybody isn't in the same boat when it comes to buying a house. Some people strictly want a new house. Some people want a resale home. There's some pros and cons to both. There's a ton of them, but I'm only going to give you a few today. So the first one, talking about resale homes. Let's define what resale is. It's real simple. It's pretty much what the word means on when it's a resale. It's a home that's been previously owned and now is about to be resold. Okay, so if someone's lived in it at some point and they purchased it, or I can't say they lived in it. They might have had some tenants in it, but they purchased the home, they owned it, and now they're reselling it. That's what a resale home is. Okay, let me tell you some of the pros of buying a resale house. I kind of touched on it earlier, but one of the pros of a resale house is normally you get more square footage for the money with a resale house. Think about it, like because it's not brand new, you know. You're not going you with a compared to a new build, you're going to pay more money with a new build because everything is brand new and construction costs. But with a resale home, normally for the square footage, you're going to get more square footage for the money. Okay. So, for example, a 2,000 square foot house, you might for a resale home might be in my area might be around 220, 230, 230, $220,000 depending on the condition. Okay. But if you bought a 2,000 square foot new construction, that house might be high twos, 290, 280, maybe even 300s. Okay, depending on the location in the neighborhood. All right, so you got to really think about what you want when it comes to your home buying needs. Is square footage a big one for you, or are you willing to sacrifice on the square footage for the brand new? Okay, something to think about. All right, that's one pro with a resale. Also with resale homes, when you're going into the market with a resale home, you're trying to buy a resale house. I want you to think about it like this too. Majority of the time, the sellers probably will be more negotiable than the builders are. Okay, majority of the time. The reason I'm using that lightly is because I'm noticing some softening from the builders. The builders are starting to become a little bit more negotiable because they got to move these homes. I recently had a client. She's getting a new construction, and the builder had this deal. I mean, they're paying closing costs. They had something going on with their preferred lender, and my buyer is able to walk into their house with no money out of pocket. That's a good deal. And also the price point was a good price point as well. So you might can find some really good deals with some of these builders because they're trying to move these homes and they might have been sitting for a little while. But typically you can probably negotiate better terms with a resale home, just because you know the seller might be willing to pay more in closing costs. Seller might be willing to accommodate certain closing dates for you. The seller might be willing to do some other items for you, as far as as far as when it comes to repairs, as well. So, and also one other benefit of buying a resale home is possibly quicker closing, quicker you can get into that house. So if you look at building a house compared to buying a resale house, a lot of times if the home is not ready yet, it might take a couple months before you get into that home. But if a house hits the market and it's a resale home and it's ready to go, I mean, you could possibly get in that house in the next 30 to 45 days, depending on how quick your lender can close. Okay. So you really could get into a resale home a lot quicker depending on where they are, compared to the builder in the building process. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you got questions, like I said, we're talking about should I buy a resale home compared to should I build a house? Okay, both, there's no right or wrong either way, but I want to give you guys some context behind, or maybe some clarity when it comes to should I go this route or go this route. Okay, here's some cons when it comes to resale, buying a resale home. Um, One of the cons is not sure of how the prior owner took care of the home. Okay. One of the ways we could definitely, find out how they took care of the house is by getting a home inspection. Really looking at, hey, did they make sure that they, take care of the home? If they saw damage, did they fix it? If you start seeing rot around the house and you start seeing chip and paint and things of that nature, deterioration, that those are some things, those are some deferred maintenance issues that that you see. But if you walk into a well-maintained home, you can almost feel it when you walk in the house. There's some houses I walk in and my clients walk in, they're like, man, this is a nice home, it's clean, it's, the paint looks good, they really prepared it well for the market. So that's a little tip for my sellers out there. If you're a property owner and you think about putting that home on the market, that's a tip for you, making sure that home is in tip top condition for these buyers out here, because they got options now. So just something for you to think about when you walk into a resale home. Definitely look and see if it's maintained well. And that's sometimes some people feel a little, worried about whether or not the seller is taking care of the home or not. Um, Not sure if the seller will fix prior issues. Okay, so guys, let me talk about this for a little bit. All right, all my realtor friends out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. So here we go. So guys, when no home is perfect, so I always kind of prepare my buyers when they get that home inspection. Guys, something is going to be wrong. Just know it. However, However, I want you to really look at this home inspection from a standpoint of, hey, is the house overall a good home? I mean, is there any structural damage going on that we need to know about? Major plumbing issues, electrical issues, those major components when it comes to a home. I really want us to really evaluate those particular ones, because those could be major headaches once you move into the house. Okay. Once that home inspector goes out there, gives you that report, they give it to you, we review it together. A lot of times when we look over that report, sometimes sellers are not willing to fix stuff. That's one of the cons when it comes to a resale home. I know with generally with contractors, when they got a new build, they will ask for that home inspection. They'll take care of everything on that home inspection list. But when it comes to a resale house, a lot of times sellers are not going to fix every single thing on that home inspection. So that's something to think about. If you're very nitpicky about stuff, then a resale home might not be for you. Okay. Um, if you freak out over the smaller stuff, I don't know. You might want to consider a new build if it's in the budget. All right. Um, also, buying a resale home, it might not be exactly what you want. I'm gonna say that one more time. It might not be exactly what you want. It might not be the paint color you want. It might not be the layout that you like. It might not, have all the space that you want. Okay, that's one of the things about resale homes. So whoever might have built that house might have built it catering to them. Okay, and now they're selling it. So for you, it's either you're gonna have to adjust or say, hey, I'm gonna make these changes later on. Long as it has the footprint that I want, long as it has the overall, um, long as it has the overall feel that I want, I'm okay with it. But if it doesn't, and you feel like, hey, it's going to be too many changes, that could be a con for you when it comes to purchasing a resale house. Okay, those are just some of the pros and cons for buying a resale home. I can probably go on for another 20, 30 minutes when it comes to that. But those are just some of the pros and cons when buying and selling a resale home and determining whether or not it's the right fit for you. Um, One of the things about a resale home, depending on the area, also, which is another pro, uh, some of them might not have HOAs. Okay, you can say the same thing if you built your house in the country on some land. Okay, but a lot of these new construction communities, they're going to have HOAs. Some people don't like HOAs. Okay, HOAs have their place. I can talk about that. I think HOAs are good, but you have to see the value in an HOA. Okay, and that's a whole nother conversation by itself. But let's go into the to pros and cons to building a house. Okay. Pros and cons to building a house or buying a new construction home. Okay. One of the first pros about buying a new construction home is it's exactly what you want. You designed that house. You walked into that design studio and you picked out the granite, picked out the cabinets. You like this floor plan, you got the stone on the front, you got the garage, you know what I'm saying? It's everything you want. It's exactly what you want in a new build. So, and that's one of the biggest things, man. You build it exactly like you want. Okay. Um, Another pro for it is, hey, guess what? It's brand new. Brand new. No one has lived in this house. Everything is fresh. You kind of got that new house smell, new car smell. You know how that go. Um, First person that lived in the home, it just has a feeling to it, a new feeling when you walk into a brand new construction house that you don't get when you walk into a resale home sometimes. Okay. Also, when I say everything is brand new, think about it like this too. A lot of times you don't have to worry about brand new stuff breaking down all the time. You know, a lot of appliances are new. Yeah, the appliances will be new because either you're going to buy them or the builder would put them in there for you. Also, HVAC unit, water heater, all these major appliances, stove, are brand new, and you don't really have to worry about it because they're going to come with a warranty as well. Okay, not saying they won't have any problems or any mechanical problems, but you will be insured, or have a warranty on those appliances just in case something happens. Okay, so a lot of times the builders will cover that for you within the first year. They give you like a special warranty like that for your major appliances. Okay. Also, builder comes. A lot of these builders have what we call a 10-year structural warranty as well. So if anything structural happens to the property, it's covered under 10 years. So if 10 years goes by and you start seeing cracks in the foundation, then you can call that builder and say, hey man, y'all gotta come fix this. Okay. It's a little different if you buy a resale home. After you sell that house, you on your own after you've done all your inspections and everything. So with a new construction, you kind of got a little safety net that you can have just in case something major like that happens to a brand new house. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of the cons. Okay. Talk about some of the cons. And this is what I hear from clients. And I know some of my clients are like, man, I gotta have a bigger yard than that. I gotta have a bigger yard. And a lot of times with new construction, you're gonna be right up on your neighbors. Some people like that. Some people that doesn't phase some people. But just know that just know that you're gonna have some real close neighbors, because these contractors and these builders, what they're trying to do is fit as many houses as they can on the land that they purchased. Okay, so the more houses they're able to build, the more money they can make. And that's kind of the reason they kind of squeeze them together. Okay, so that's just something to think about. All right. HOA fees and HOAs in a lot of these new build communities. You're only able to do certain things. You're only able to put certain colors. Some communities you can't put sheds up or anything of that nature. So just be mindful when you buy a new construction home in one of these communities. There are going to be some restrictions, some covenants that you're going to have to follow, and restrictions that you're going to have to follow to live in that community. HOA fees that could add on to your um, your mortgage payment. I recently went to a community. Some of y'all might know this community. I'm not going to say the name, but I think it was like they wanted $2,800 a year for the HOAs. And I had to be clear with that with my client so that they understood that's going to be an extra additional expense for them, and if they were willing to pay that. But some of these HOAs take care of a good bit. Someone might take care of your lawn or any maintenance in certain areas. So, but it pay the cost to be the boss in some of these neighborhoods. So just understand that that could come with it when it comes to new construction. Now, let me preface this too. Let's say you're saying, well, Wilmont, I'm not going to go in one of those communities. I got my own land. I'm gonna build on my own land. I totally understand. Well, you might not have to worry about an HOA in that scenario. But one thing I will encourage you to do is, if you're going to build on your own land, okay, really consider, like, really consider the house you're going to build, and try not to outbuild the whole entire neighborhood. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Because the neighbor's house will benefit from your house, but not your house. Your house won't benefit from the neighbor's house. Okay, so just be mindful of that, because I've seen some scenarios like that. And when it comes to resell, when it comes to sell the house, okay, when it comes to sell a house, if you decide, hey, I'm gonna move, then at that point you might not be able to get out what you put in into the house. Something to think about. Something to think about. That's another Teach Me Tuesday, or another video. Um, prices are higher to build. Prices are higher typically to do a new construction compared to square footage. I kind of touched on that earlier. When you're building a new house, a brand new house, 9 times out of 10, for the same square footage that you could buy a resale for, you're gonna pay more for that particular home. It's just construction costs. And unless you know a builder that can give you a great deal, yeah, you're gonna pay more for a new build. That's one of the cons. Also, let's say you are going to one of these big builders and you go in there, you're designing your house, and you walk into that beautiful model home, right? Y'all seen the model homes, and they got everything you can want in there: fireplace, granite countertops, the backsplash, the glass shower and all that stuff. A lot of those things that you see in there are upgrades. So when you're building your house and you want those items in there, that price will continue to go up. It will continue to go up. Upgrade costs. And you really got to sit down with yourself and think about, like, hey, is this necessary? I mean, if I can buy the house, but what things do I absolutely gotta have? What things do I feel like I don't want to have to do later? Let's do them right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and put it right now so I don't have to upgrade this later. Um, and really consider those things, because when you go in there and you're designing a house from the ground up, you want to make sure you get all those must haves in there first. Okay, so that later on you won't have to worry about it. Excuse me. But that's one of the cons I will say about doing a new construction. Those upgrade costs will continue to rise as you add those things that you want in your home. Also with new builds in these communities, tight communities, you want to have limited parking. So think about when you want to entertain, you want to have a party. Okay, you want to have, you want to have a section that you can park in. It might be a place where they might have a community center or clubhouse where people can park their cars, and you might have to transport or whatever. Just know you might have limited space compared to some resale homes that might have some more space for parking when it comes to entertaining guests. That's another con that I think that I'm noticing out there with some new builds. And also, if you have let's say you have your own land, right? And you say, well, I'm gonna build on my own land, or I'm gonna buy land or whatever. I want you to think about one of the things I want you to think about is construction loans. I know LaShawn and Gavin are not here right now, but construction loans are typically a little bit harder to get these days, especially for buyers, and it typically require a little bit more from the buyer. Now, that being said, I have heard of some USDA construction loans that are out there, but there's some strict stipulations. You got to have certain builder, things of that nature as well. If you are interested in something like that, let me know. And I do have someone that does do that, and they also are a good builder as well. So if that's something that interests you, please, reach out to me, message me, shoot me call me. I'll put my contact information out there at the end. But those are just some of the pros and cons when it comes to building versus buying a resale home. I've dealt with some clients where they thought they were going to do a resale home, but after going through that process, they realized they just can't deal with some of the things that resale homes have. They really feel like they want something that is only made for them, or they feel like they don't want to deal with the hassle of dealing with repairs after closing. So, and those are some of the benefits when it comes to new builds. But that's one client, but then you got other clients that are like, hey, man, I don't want a new build. I want a home that's been lived in, or I can make my own and we can take it from there. So, if I hope this kind of gave you some clarity on, what things that you might feel that might best fit you as a purchaser, or if you're thinking about building or not, just be open to the process. Be open to looking at both types of homes. Look at homes that's in your budget. That's a new build. Look at homes that's in your budget. That's a resale home. You never know. You might find something on the resale side that you couldn't get from buying a new construction. So I'm looking in the comments to see if there's any questions. Don't see any right now, but if you do have any questions or comments, please send them to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And I'm pushing. I'm right up on the 30-minute marks. I think I did good with some time today. Miss my partners today, and they should be back. We might be back next week. I know it's holiday coming up, Christmas coming up in the new year, so we will keep you guys abreast when we're going to do the next Teach Me Tuesday. But I hope you guys got some value from that. If you got any questions about building, or if you're thinking about buying, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. Wilmot Berry here with the Berry Group, broker by eXp Realty. Signing off. Hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and God bless.